Hey everybody, Brent Porche from 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia here, and joining me now is a super talented singer, songwriter, guitarist, and international rock star that you know from bands like Alter Bridge and Slash and The Conspirators, and maybe even Steel Dragon. He's got a brand new solo album titled The Art of Letting Go. It's coming out in October, and he's here to talk all about it. We welcome back to WMMR, Mr. Myles Kennedy. Hello, sir.
Hey, Ren, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm I'm good. I apologize. My dog is freaking out right now. If you can, he's probably coming through the mic. He's upset because he's not in here with us doing
Oh,
this right.
you want to bring him in?
Oh, it's all right. He'll he's a hellion, so it would be me chasing the dog around for the next
Right.
2 minutes.
You've got to be one of the most, like the busiest artists in recent memory. I mean, since 2018, you've released two Alter Bridge albums, you've released two Slash and The Conspirators albums, and you've released two solo albums with number 3 on the way coming up in October, plus the touring and everything. Are you ever not busy working on your musical endeavors?
Well, rarely. Yeah, I stay pretty busy with all the music. But the thing is, I like creating. I mean, that's kind of for me, that's the best part. So having the opportunity to make all these records and work with great people, it's like, I'm not complaining. And what else am I going to do?
Yeah, you absolutely love it. And what do you like to do to fill your time with outside of music, besides family, of course?
I'm still learning how that works because I've spent most of my life just obsessing about music. When your hobby becomes what you do to put food on the table, it's a great problem to have. What have I, what things, I just like to hang out in nature. My wife and we go to Idaho a lot and just hang out, take little hikes and sit by the lake and take in the beauty, man.
And relax a little bit. Excellent. Well, I got to tell you, man, we are all super excited to wrap our ears around the new album. It's coming out in the fall. Of course, The Art of Letting Go. It's going to be October the 11th. And we are currently playing the new single from the album, Say What You Will. What can you tell us about the new album? 10 new tracks in all. Who produced it? Who's on it with you? Where did you record it? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So it was produced by Michael Basquiat, Elvis, who's done the majority of the stuff that I've been a part of over the last 20 years. He's just an amazing producer, an amazing friend. My rhythm section is Zia Udine, who played, I've been playing with him off and on since the 80s when we were kids, playing in bars, getting in trouble. He's one of the best drummers I know. And then Tim Turnier. He, not only is he a great bass player, but he's also my manager and manages Alter Bridge. So he's a man who wears many hats. And so the record, it's a rock and roll record this time. The first record was acoustic based. Second record had the acoustic stuff and the blues thing, and there was electric guitar as well. But for this record, I really wanted to it's kind of an excuse to play a lot of guitar solos at this point. I love playing guitar. And so I wanted this record to reflect that.
Very cool. Where did the title of the album, The Art of Letting Go, derive from?
The Art of Letting Go came from kind of this philosophy that I've been just trying to integrate into my life as I get a little older, and I'm trying to learn the art of just not giving a damn, and not being reactive and not really just letting things just kind of roll off your shoulders, and there's an art to it. It's definitely something I have to work at, and non-reactivity is the goal. And it's a good place to be at this point in life.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, the new album, it's available for pre-order now. And what I like about it is you can get it on all sorts of vinyl variants, like the different colors and stuff like that. And I, in particularly, love the cover. Really cool, unique kind of design on the cover there. Who's responsible for that?
Oh man, I just as you went there, I was like,
oh crap,
RZA. I believe that's I gotta hit Tim up because he did such a good job, and I gotta just have it tattooed on my forehead because he crushed it, and I really just am super grateful to him for the time he put into that. So
yeah, man, beautiful record. Obviously, you can pre-order it online, and the majority of them are actually autographed by you as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, if you want to see the worst autograph in all of rock and roll, maybe the entertainment, and maybe just the world, period. Yeah, I have a horrible autograph.
I actually, believe it or not, I did I did a sound check and meet and greet with you guys in Alter Bridge on the Blackbird tour. Going back, you guys played the Chameleon Club up in Lancaster, and I actually got to do the stage intro and everything for you guys. But during the sound check, when you guys were ripping through like Zeppelin tunes and all that kind of stuff, I brought a drum head in for you guys to autograph. And I don't want to say yours is the worst of the four between the Alter Bridge guys, but you can definitely tell which one is yours on out of the four autographs from the AB guys.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually signed. So, and my autograph has devolved over the last 2 decades because it was different. I had to sign something right around when my wife and I got married, and it was a very different signature, and it took a lot longer to do. And just through years of signing, it just and I had to re-sign something in the last few years, and they wouldn't accept it because they're like, that's not your signature. It was something that was like, it was supposed to look like it did 20 years ago, but because it's changed, yeah, it's a horrible signature. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. I actually have to thank you for making a music video for the first single from the album. Do you still enjoy making music videos? I mean, it was sort of live performance. I really like the fact that it's like a girl that's kind of getting picked on or bullied, and she gets this like birth of rock in her, and then all of a sudden she's up on stage at a talent show and she's rocking out with you guys up there. Did you have fun making the video?
That was probably the funnest video. Most artists, you ask them about making videos and they're like, it's like going to the dentist, but this was great. The kids were great. That's Tim Turner, my bass player and manager. That's his daughter, Mara, who just should get an Academy Award for this. She did such a great job. But for me, it is the kind of the narrative of that video is really important to me because as a kid, and I'm sure you can relate, I mean, rock and roll and music is what kind of saved me. And I feel like this video is a manifestation of it. It's showing this girl, she's in this situation where she's being bullied and she doesn't fit in at school. And then she has this idea and she's like, music, and I'm going to show all these kids what I can do. And I'm pretty passionate about that sort of thing, passionate enough to like, we started a foundation nearly 10 years ago called Future Song Foundation. And we try to get kids like, instruments and instruction. To me, it's such an important thing that kids, if they want to do it, that they have the opportunity to play music and perform music. And music is, as you know, it's the best, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, with the new album comes the tour. So we are super excited about having you back through the area. It's going to be January 25th. It's a Saturday night. Have you ever played the Keswick Theater before in Glenside that you recall?
Not that I recall, but I'd be a liar if I didn't admit to the fact that the memory bank isn't what it used to be. And I played a lot of venues in the last,
Sure.
20 years.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've seen you every single time you've come through, whether it's been solo stuff or Alter Bridge or Slash or whatever it's been. So I think this may be the first time you're coming to the Keswick, which is super cool. Tickets are on sale now. We got Tim Montana, also Sons of Silver, that are going to be opening for you on this part of the tour, which is cool. Are you familiar with those guys enough that you know their teams and everything?
Yeah. We're familiar and thrilled to have those guys on, and I'm stoked to have Tim on as well because I think what Tim does is it's cool, man. And he's definitely, from what I've seen and heard, he talk about kind of just doing what you do and not caring and the art of letting go and all. I feel like that's somebody who kind of was a manifestation of that. So I think he's going to fit really well.
So full band with you this time. Last time I hosted the show with you at Underground Arts here in Philadelphia, which was more of an acoustic thing. You brought along Tyler Bryant and Graham Whitford opening the tour, which was cool. So full band this time. Is this going to be the people that appear on the album with you are going to be performing with you in concert?
Correct. Yeah. It's going to be Tim and Zia. And like I've been saying, to some degree, making these solo records now have become an excuse just to hang out with those guys. It's fun hanging out with those guys. It's a family affair. It's going to be a rock and roll show. And maybe you'll do a little bit of acoustic here and there, but overall, bring some earplugs. It's going to be loud.
Very cool. We're looking forward to it. Of course, the tickets are on sale now. You can check WMMR.com and MylesKennedy.com for more on that. Your bandmate Slash just put out a killer blues covers album back in May called Orgy of the Damned, featuring legendary artists like Brian Johnson and Paul Rogers and Billy Gibbons and all those guys. I wanted to get your thoughts on the album and have you listened to it all the way through?
Oh yeah, I think it's killer. I
Yeah.
was just listening to it the other day. He came through about a week and a half ago. He played. He was one of the first stops on their tour here in Spokane, and so that was great. I mean, it was just the thing is he's a rock. He's known as being this rock icon, but he's got such an understanding and a gift for the blues, and it's nice to see him doing that in this realm, and it's authentic. It's like I believe that he's got that in his DNA, and he does it really well. And the fact that on this record he brings in all these just heavy hitters, like some of my favorite who've been around forever, like Billy Gibbons and Paul Rogers, and then the new like Gary Clark Jr. who's,
Yes.
I mean, that
100%.
guy is like, whoa, like mind blowing. So yeah, I'm super thrilled for him. He's having the time of his life too, and I could just tell he's like a kid in a candy store. He loves it. So I'm stoked for him.
Yeah, he's in his element. And I was curious, did you happen to record anything for it?
No, I did not record anything for it. It was, it's one of those things where I think he had the cast of characters that he wanted to fulfill this awesome vision that he had. And, but I was just grateful that it was funny because when they came through town, I just thought we were just going to go, Selena and I were going to go to the show and see everybody. And at about like 1 o'clock, I get this text. He goes, "Hey man, you want to play tonight?" And I'm like, "Okay." But yeah, sure. We'll just, so he showed up and we did a sound check and then, I think played 2 songs with him that night. One with Warren Haynes, who is another guy that I just, totally look up to.
Sure.
And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great to be a part of it.
Super cool. Well, another bandmate, Mark Tremonti, of course, from Alter Bridge, he just put out an amazing Frank Sinatra covers album, and I believe he's working on part 2 as we speak. Does it blow your mind, kind of like it does mine, on how stellar of an album that was and how damn good Mark sounds covering Old Blue Eyes?
Yeah, he's it's what's fun for me to see is how he's discovered this whole genre in a way, like later on, right? And so it's palpable how much he loves it, because went with Mark, anytime he finds something that he likes, he's all in. And so he's taken that passion and not only just manifested it on these records and does a great job musically, but he's also doing it for a great cause. It's not, it's the charitable aspect that I really applaud. He's marrying the two. It's beautiful all the way around. And I'm super proud of him.
It really is mind blowing, because I've been an Alter Bridge fan and a fan of you guys and Mark and everybody since the beginning, 20 plus years now. And to see him switch gears and kind of left turn it like that, it is truly mind blowing, because he does it so damn well.
Yeah, he's definitely, like I said, when he finds something that he likes, he's all in, and he's definitely, we're all proud of him.
Very cool. Well, that being said, with Slash on his Serpent tour, Creed out on their tour, their reunion tour, which actually just kicked off last night, by the way. Of course, you have the new album and the new tour coming up. I presume like the Alter Bridge stuff and the Slash and Myles stuff is kind of on the back burner. But the reason why I asked that is because I know Slash likes to pump out tunes and albums pretty regularly. It seems like you guys are pretty flush with stuff to put out there. And of course, with your talent and work ethic, you're probably always working on something for each of those outfits as well. Yeah.
I'm always writing. You kind of have to, when you're lucky enough to be part of a number of entities that are, continuing to put stuff out and tour. And so you always have to kind of have things ready just in case. So, I'm not one of these guys who likes to go into the studio and write, be under the gun there. It's like, I want to know there's plenty to pull from. So I'm always stocking the catalog.
Gotcha. Right on. So I mentioned the 20th anniversary of Alter Bridge coming up. We're a few weeks away from the 20th anniversary of the release of the debut album. Of course, One Day Remains is going to be August 10th. Anything planned to commemorate?
Not that I know of, but it's funny. I totally forgot that. It's like, so the 10th is the official.
August 10th will be 20 years.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Where did the time go, man?
Do you guys have like a vault of stuff from back then? I mean, everybody has a vault full of tunes and stuff, but going all the way back 20 years, do you still have songs from that era that maybe could be unearthed or possibly put out as like a bonus something or other down the line here?
There might be a handful, not a ton, because from that era we were really just kind of scrambling to get the songs that we had. I flew down on, I think, like the 2nd of January 2004, and I think we were recording within just really just a couple months. So we didn't have a lot of time to put together, like a lot of bands, they'll put together 30 songs to make a record, and then you pick the best 10. But for us, it was kind of what you heard for the most part. There are a few hanging around.
So I didn't realize this, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, but your wife, Selena, and you co-founded the Future Song Foundation, which is a charity organization that provides funding to ensure that kids have access to musical instruction and instruments, which are fundamental parts of complete education. And this was back in 2015, which is really cool. And this kind of touches, base with me because when I was in 4th grade, I learned how to play the drums. I was in, the orchestra and kind of made my way through music class and instruction and wind ensemble and marching band and all that kind of stuff. And like, I don't think I would be here today without that, going back, like I said, 4th grade, however old I was, 10 years old, 9 years old, something like that. And I couldn't agree more about it being a fundamental part of a complete education. So I think it's so great that you guys are doing this, and it's futuresong.org, right? Is the website, as if people want to go check it out. And I know you touched on it a little bit, but this involves getting like instruments and stuff into maybe students' hands that don't have that access, right?
Correct. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. It's and that's great to hear your story as well. And that was my story. I was a band. Did they call you band nerds? Because they called us band nerds. Like that was
geek. Yeah. I mean, I was one of the cooler band geeks because I did the sports and all that kind of stuff too. But it was something with, music in general, like you mentioned, just such a huge part of my life. But being able to play it and be a part of it and understand it and the dynamics of it and everything like that was huge. And I know a lot these days with school districts and stuff like that, not only here in Philadelphia, but all over the place, that's usually one of the first things to be cut from the funding is the arts and, of course, the music programs and stuff like that, which is very unfortunate, man, because I think of where I would be if I hadn't had music and the instruction and all this kind of stuff in my life going all the way back.
There it is. I mean, you just said it all. I mean, it's hearing the story of how what a profound effect it had on you as a young person. And then, you set it up really well as far as what's happened. And it's been going on for years, things just get cut, programs get cut. And so we've just been trying to do the best that we can here in our community to kind of pick up the slack. And, now because of this, in a large portion of these schools, we have like a guitar program and there's a piano program, and the kids seem to love it. And so it's really been amazing to see that happen and see how it's affected the kids. And I love kids and I love music, and everybody on the Future Song board would feel the same way. So it's definitely something we're passionate about. And thanks for sharing that, man. That's the best way to sell it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And so futuresong.org, if people want to go check it out that are watching this now. And is this primarily affects like the Spokane kind of northwestern United States area, right?
Primarily, although we have done a few, back in 2017, we did something when we did the Alter Bridge live at the Royal Albert Hall. We had something we did in London there that was involved with Future Song. We did something in South Africa too once, which was really, really great. But for what we've realized is that we really want to stay focused in our community here, and it's important just because our community is in need, and want to keep doing the best we can.
Well, kudos to you and your wife, Selena, for spearheading that and being a part of it, because I mean, you're changing many, many lives that hopefully down the line, so, we'll be watching them being rock stars up on stage, international rock stars and stuff too. Myles, I got to tell you, man, it's always a pleasure getting to speak with you. Nothing but the best with the new album. Again, The Art of Letting Go. We're super excited for, and of course, we'll see you back through the area in January, part of the tour. Again, Keswick Theater. It's going to be January 25th, along with Tim Montana and others. And those tickets are on sale now. Again, WMMR.com and MylesKennedy.com has them for you. And please, next time you're through the Philadelphia area, man, come by and say hi. The door's always open for you.
Love that. We'd love to do that, man.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Myles Kennedy, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Had a blast.